This is a pull-out garbage can. It's an insert in a base cabinet. Comes in 3 sizes, 15, 18, and 21 inches. This one is going to be a 21, and the 21 and the 18 are doubles. The 15 is a single. So it's an insert, which means you're going to just add this to a base cabinet 21. It's not a full cabinet, it's the insert for that cabinet. It consists of a door, the drawer box sides, bottom, and garbage can frames. A little bit of glue in the dovetails is always a great way to keep it secure forever. It's completely washable, so not to worry. A little extra glue in this front frame. And the dovetails will help keep everything together. And a little damp cloth will clean off the glue that dribbles. And so far, that's what you've got for the drawer box. So this frame sits inside this opening. You could recess it just slightly, pre-drill the sides, and just add some screws into the sides to hold it in place. So with the BWBK, you're going to be actually removing the door of the regular base cabinet and discarding it or trying to find a new place for it. Take off the hinges. These clips that go on the back of the drawer system usually have 2 nibs on them. In this case, what I did was I took the nibs off of them. I cut them off with a saw or hacksaw or whatever, but you need them flat basically. And they get slipped into the back of the drawer track system. And that drawer track system sits on the floor and here and here. And you add screws into it in the front. And in the rear, we're going to have to raise it up slightly by 1/4 of an inch. But I'll show you that in a second. First thing to do is screw this in place in the front. The positioning is similar to the drawer, so you'll always want to consider that. The rear has to be lifted just enough, just like this is lifted 1/4 of an inch. That'll be lifted by 1/4 of an inch. So I have a little piece of 1/4 inch plywood. In this case, I cut a little piece of 1/4 inch material. And it'll go on the bottom. So it's similar in height to what you have in here, because you want this thing to be pretty much level. And you'll do that on both sides, raise it up. And then eventually you'll be screwing that clip into the back of this cabinet. What I just did, because the back is 1/4 inch material, you could cut a piece of material for the back And I pre-cut this, but it's 1.5 inches smaller than the width of the cabinet. The cabinet's a 21. This is 19.5. It fits inside. And it's just something to screw to. And now you got some real meat to screw into. And it's exactly the same width, so it kind of stays in place. Next thing we need to do is put the drawer clips on the bottom of the pull-out drawer. So these orange clip gizmos go on the bottom of the drawer and toward the front. This is the front of the drawer. They get set into place. There's a left and a right. Screw them in. There are pre-drilled holes, so you can just pretty much drill them wherever you find those pre-drilled holes. They're tiny little screws, so they're a challenge. Since the gap that you have here in the front is 3/4 inch, this setback over here, I just put a little piece of 3/4 inch block material and set it in place to hold this where it's at. So we have it raised 1/4 inch with that piece of 1/4 inch ply, and then 3/4 inch on the side would pretty much tell you where this track has to be. So that makes this track perfectly even. You want to screw that into place so it stays. And then perhaps just to hold this thing in place, you'll want to run some screws from the back of the cabinet to hold this in its place. So I'll go around to the back of the cabinet and just put a couple of screws in the back. That should be ready to go. There we are. Okay, then insert your garbage cans, and whoops, we are good to go. So to finish it off, just some little plastic bumpers on the back of the drawer face and door. Helps to keep the closure quiet in both cases. And could be anywhere on the back as long as it hits the frame. And that takes care of that.